Welcome back to my channel, Open the Door. This is episode 51, Unlocking Fear and Becoming a Truth Speaker. So, before I started on my healing journey, I had, for most of my life, a blocked throat chakra. And for most of my life, I didn't even know what that meant. I didn't know anything about the chakras. But I do know that I was holding back from speaking my truth for most of my life. I had difficulty both in expressing my thoughts and feelings and in holding back my thoughts and feelings. I had anxiety about social norms and expectations that others had for me. And I had a fear of public speaking, believe it or not. Even though I'm a musician and I sing often in front of people, speaking is a whole different animal, and I've always been a little nervous about that. Although I'm a former music teacher too, but deep down, yeah, I had a lot of insecurities. So, fear of being judged is another reason that I was holding back and not speaking my truth. And ways that this manifested in my life is that, I would often do this thing called over-talking, talking over other people and trying to dominate conversations. I had a deep down feeling of being misunderstood. And the reason for that is because I wasn't speaking my truth, but I expected others to understand what my truth was. When really, in reality, I didn't even know what the truth was myself until I started on the path of the healing and took a deep dive and took a deep look at myself. So I was struggling with honesty with myself and with others, and I would often get triggered easily and speak harshly to others as well. So I was holding back my truth, my inner knowing, my deepest thoughts and emotions, mostly because of fear. I didn't have the inner strength to step up and speak out. And also there was a lack of self-awareness due to denial of unhealed pain from past traumas. So when we're in the state of self-denial and not being able to be fully truthful with ourselves, then there's no way that we can go forward in the world and be truthful with others. But now that I'm a truth speaker, that's part of my purpose, I have a dedication to truth, integrity, fairness, and a respect for facts. I'm committed to honesty, transparency, and authentically communicating with others to foster healthy, respectful, and meaningful relationships. I value truth above all else, and I'll now speak the truth even when it's uncomfortable or unpopular. My aim is to be genuine and forthright, to avoid deception, manipulation, or half-truths. But it takes moral courage, because being a truth speaker means facing risks, criticism, and backlash from others. And regardless of the circumstances, I will continue to speak the truth, even if it makes everyone in the room uncomfortable. So what was stopping me from speaking my truth? Well, for each of us, it depends on our own personal experiences and our own personal circumstances. But as I mentioned before, it was a fear of judgment was a big part of it. I was afraid of judgment and criticism and rejection from others for speaking my truth, and especially when it contradicts the beliefs and expectations of others that we care about. I had a desire to avoid conflict, and staying silent to maintain peace and avoid arguments was a common strategy of mine. Another thing that stopped me from speaking truth was the fear of consequences. So there's real consequences for speaking truths, and it involves both personal and professional repercussions and in our relationships. I had a lack of confidence that maybe my truth wasn't valid, and I had a lack of courage and self-esteem in order to stand firmly in my truth. So as I mentioned before, cultural or social conditioning, where conformity is highly valued, and we're discouraged to speak openly. And that was preventing me from speaking my truth. Also, emotional vulnerability. Discussing our deep emotions and personal struggles or admitting our mistakes causes us to feel vulnerable, and we don't like that feeling. We always want to feel like we're on top and in control. And being emotionally vulnerable with others is a difficult thing for many of us. So having an uncertainty about our own truth when we're still trying to process our thoughts and feelings and we're challenged to how to articulate these things, can all stop us from speaking our truth. So, what truths to speak out on? What are the things that we should speak about? Well, it depends on the context and the situation. It depends on our values and our relationship to others. And we should always consider the timing and the manner of our delivery when we're speaking our truth. So here's some truths that I've spoken up about. My personal beliefs and values. And I believe in speaking my truth on this point because it helps others to understand truly who I am and what I stand for, whether they agree with it or not. My emotional truths I've spoken out on, which helps to build authentic connections and fosters intimacy and stronger relationship with others. I speak out on facts and reality when clarity and accuracy are crucial to maintain integrity and build trust. Pardon me. Accountability and responsibility. I take responsibility and I admit mistakes, but I demonstrate humility, and hopefully this will foster growth within myself and in my relationships with others. I speak out on injustice and inequities when there's discrimination and unfair treatment of others, and it's a powerful way to advocate for change. I speak out on my boundaries and limits, and I express what is acceptable and what is not, and that's to protect my own well-being. And I also speak out when I give constructive feedback, if the situation is appropriate for that. But I always try to deliver it with empathy and to help others grow and improve themselves. So I also speak out on my passions and my dreams and what inspires and drives me to live a more fulfilling life. So it's fairly common that others are not going to agree with our own truth. And here's ways that you can handle that. So the first thing is acknowledge that there's differences between your truths and others, and they're not always going to align with each other. But stay grounded when you know for sure what your truths are. Stay grounded in that truth. But also implement active listening. Really pay attention to and listen to what the other is saying. You may learn something. Speaking our truth when setting boundaries with others who don't agree with us, and be able to agree to disagree. So seek support when needed, but most of all, make sure that you reflect and learn from past experiences when you have not spoken your truth, and look at what you could have done differently, and then integrate that into your approach in the future when it comes to speaking your truth. So why is it important to speak our truth? Well, here's the impacts that it's had on my life. Hold on, I lost my spot here. Here we go. So speaking my truth has brought about, for me, an authenticity and a high level of self-respect for my experiences, my feelings, and my beliefs, and which validates our own reality. I've got something on the stove. Also, healthy relationships have come about from me speaking my truth, where I'm open and honest and able to communicate, which helps build trust, and it's key to healthy relationships. I've been able to achieve more emotional well-being, and I'm not bottling up my emotions or hiding my true feelings anymore, which led to stress and resentment. And I have a sense of empowerment and confidence in speaking my truth by asserting my needs, my boundaries, and my values, and it empowers me to stand up to others. I've also acquired a lot of personal growth by being honest about who I am and what I think, which encourages self-reflection. And overall, the positive change that's occurred in my life by challenging the status quo. We might inspire others toward positive change and promote authenticity in them, but most importantly, we're inspiring ourselves toward positive change and promoting authenticity in ourselves. So it's not easy being a truth speaker, and as I said, I've not always come from this place of truth. But in my process of healing and growing, I've learned how very important it is As I said earlier in the video, if we are not able to be truthful with ourselves and what our truths are and where they lie within us, then we're not able to be fully present and truthful with those around us. So look deep. You got to go deep to find your truths and sort of sort through illusions and find what deeply resonates with you, and that will be your truth. Tap into your higher self. I did a whole episode on your higher self. Go back and, I don't know the number, but go back and look at my list of 50 plus videos now, and you'll find an episode on higher self. And our higher self is our source of truth and knowing within us. So, developing a relationship with your higher self will ultimately lead you to your truth. This is our episode for today, being a truth speaker. I thank you for joining me. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're doing well and taking good care of yourselves. I wish you peace, love, and light as always, and I will be back again soon. So take good care, and bye for now.